What's going on, everybody? What's happening? What's shaking? What's doing? It is, what's it, Wednesday say? No, it's Thursday. Thursday, September the, Thursday? It's Thursday. Thursday, September the 9th, 2022, 2:09 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope you are all doing very well. Wow. Well, I would be remiss if I did not start the show today off with a little bit of sad news. Obviously, the death of Queen Elizabeth II just happened. Well, it might have happened earlier, but we're just getting news, I think, over the last hour or so that she passed away. It may not be as big of a deal for our American friends, obviously. I mean, obviously, you know who the Queen is, and it's not that it's not a deal at all. But certainly, if you live across the pond in the UK, it's quite a big deal. And if you're in Canada, it's quite a big deal. Obviously, we used to be a British colony, and we got our independence in 1867, I think it was. But it officially became we were officially removed from. Something also happened in 1982, and I forget what it was there. I got to brush up on my my Canadian British history, but nonetheless, the Queen was, up until just a few moments ago, our head of state as well here in Canada. Now, obviously, we have a prime minister, but it was very much like it was in the UK. And the Queen, of course, is on our money. She's on the back of our coins. Do I have a coin here? I think I do, actually. I think I have a quarter. She's on the back of all our... Oh, here's a loonie. I don't know if you can see that. I don't think you can... Nah, you can't really see that. I don't have the lights up bright enough. You might be able to see this because this is silver. This is a quarter, a Canadian quarter. On the front, you got the moose, and on the back, you got... I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can kind of see that. There she is. Queen Elizabeth. That's her. So she's, of course, on our money, and we have, you know, huge ties and roots to the monarch and England, Britain... You know what I mean? So probably not as big of a deal here as it is in the UK, but we're still feeling it here. You know, it's kind of like, wow, it's the end of an era. Like, holy shit. I mean, she's been the Queen for, I mean, since 52, 53 or something like that, 54, somewhere in there. My mother was born in England, so I actually have English roots. She came to Canada in 1956 when she was 12. So, and of course, I still have relatives who live in England. So my condolences to, you know, those that are affected by this. You know, it's again, it might seem kind of funny to some people, but there's a certain section of people that it's really hitting hard. So, you know, and for me, I'm kind of in the middle, you know what I mean? I'm kind of like, wow, huh. You know, because she's always been there. It was kind of like when, I mean, I'm not a religious person, but it was kind of like when Pope John Paul II died, right? He was the Pope for what, like 30 years or something like that? Like, he was just always there. You know, it kind of feels like that. It's like, wow, so she's gone. You know, I mean, she's always been there. She's been the Queen for, you know, what was it, like 60, 70 something years? 70 something years now, I think, whatever it was. Anyways, it's crazy. So I just wanted to acknowledge it and put it out there because it's, yeah, it's crazy to think that she's gone. It'll be very interesting to see over the next few days what kind of, you know, what sort of happens. I know Darren, of course, our friend Darren from the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast, he's across the pond. Shout out to Wolfman's Got Nards, of course, who's in Scotland, I believe. You know, it's probably a very big deal for them and for the country and for the, you know, for... Yeah, it's just, I don't want to speak out of turn in terms of, because there's lots I don't know, but I just want to say that I do know the emotional impact and weight of something like this. It's a big deal. It might seem kind of funny to some Americans because obviously you don't have the ties that Canada does or some other of the former British colonies do, but it's kind of strange. It's kind of weird. It's heavy. It's big. Anyways, now that that has been said, I wanted to take some time today and break down It's Me, Billy Chapter 2 and where we are in the development status, kind of just come on here and formally say that, yes, we are back. We are doing this. I can finally talk about it. We've known about it for some time, but we were doing some, some house cleaning, and there were some things we needed to kind of get in order, our ducks in a row, and before we could make any sort of official announcement on it. It's very exciting because obviously if you have followed me for any length of time, you know that, the kind of promotional stuff and the kind of cheerleading that I had to do on this channel, in the mix of talking about all the other stuff we were talking about, of course, to help and spearhead and bring the first chapter to life. And I want to say that, again, I've said it before, but I have to say it again, without you guys, It's Me, Billy would not have happened. You were the ones that helped to bring it to life. You were the ones that donated, 64,000 Canadian dollars to help bring this to life, which is amazing. And obviously, we're going to be looking to you guys to help with that again. You did. It was such a humbling experience. We didn't know, right? The first time, and I've said this before, but it bears repeating, the first time we stepped into this, we had it in our heads, okay, if we don't raise the production budget that we need to raise, and again, it's not an arbitrary number. You never, or you should never, ask for just something you think you're going to need. You have a budget, you break it down, you should know within the ballpark of almost exactly what it's going to take to make this movie. And, but we thought, it's Black Christmas, who's, you know what I mean? Who's going to want to see this? And, people did. And people believed in us to do it. And you guys stepped up to the plate and you donated. And it was just such a humbling experience. But we had it in our minds that if we didn't raise the money, let's say we only raised $10,000 or something, we were going to take sort of a portion of the script, like a scene, or, maybe we'll take like the dining room scene, or, we take like, I don't know, Justine's death scene or something, spoiler alert, and shoot that, make it as professional, as we could, and use that as part of the pitch to say, hey, do you want to see the rest, kind of thing, right? But obviously we didn't want to do that. We wanted to do the whole thing, and we did. Well, that's a great segue into sort of, we didn't do the whole thing. Now, we knew very early on that It's Me, Billy was broken into two parts. We had a bigger story that we wanted to tell, but we knew that if we wanted to do it all in one shot, we would have had to have asked for like $130,000, $140,000. And we didn't think that we were going to make that because obviously your schedule doubles, at the very least it doubles, right? Payment doubles, everything doubles. Equipment rentals, production insurance, craft services, cast, crew, like everything goes up, right? Locations. So we didn't think we were going to do that. Like we didn't even know if we were going to make 60 or raise 60, I should say. And we did. So, but we didn't want to tell you guys that we had broken it into two parts and that the first part was going to end on a cliffhanger, because we thought that that would kind of not spoil the ending because you wouldn't know what the cliffhanger was. But in our minds, we thought, well, if we tell them that, then they're going to be expecting that. They're going to be just waiting for 40 minutes for this cliffhanger. And we didn't want to do that. We just kind of wanted you to watch it as is. And some people watched the movie and thought, that's it? Well, that's kind of dumb. No, it's clearly a cliffhanger, right? And then there are people that totally got it. We're like, no way. There's lots of burning questions. How is grandma in the basement? Wait, didn't they have a funeral? Didn't Jess see her in the coffin? Like, what's going on? All that kind of stuff, which I find kind of funny because I'm like, there's many ways to have a funeral, guys. Like, There's many ways you could, like, how, but nonetheless, those were some of the things we heard from people saying that. And it was kind of fun. It was an interesting experience because, we want to, as I said, myself and Bruce obviously have worked for many years in the entertainment industry, but we're now just starting to take the filmmaking side of our careers seriously. And It's Me, Billy was a great first step in that direction, right? We made it as professional as we possibly could, thanks to you guys, because we were able to hire the team and the equipment and the camera gear and the lighting and grip gear and the everything. We were able to do it and show what we could do with $60,000, which sounds like a lot, but it's like a no budget. Really, it's a no budget movie. And that's thanks to you guys. But we want to continue this train going. We don't want to make fan films our whole lives. Obviously, no filmmaker does. We certainly don't want to just live in a world of fan films. But we want to complete this story. And we feel that in completing the story and doing it at the same level, if not more so, depending on how much money we can raise this time, maybe we can take it even to the next level, which, there might be things we might be able to write in the script that we might be able to do or pull off. In terms of production value, it's going to look the same because you really can't get any more pro than what we were able to do with the gear that we shot on and all that kind of stuff. But there's always room. I mean, there's always room to even take that to the next level, depending on what you're doing. But in terms of like things we might want to do in the film, we want to continue to show what we are capable of as filmmakers, and we want to complete this story. Once we complete the story, the next project that Bruce and I do will be original. And there is a project we have up our sleeve that we're very excited about, but it's not something that we think could probably be crowdfunded. Maybe, but as we've written it, there's a treatment now, but it's probably several $1 million, right? It's a low budget Blumhouse kind of production, right? It's that kind of thing. So it's not really something that could probably be crowdfunded, or at least fully crowdfunded. Maybe we could crowdfund part of it, perhaps, and then seek funding from elsewhere. But that's sort of, the goal, right? We want to go on and obviously make original films as well, but we want to complete we want to complete the It's Me, Billy story, because it's also going to bode well for us, right? So we can have another narrative piece in our portfolio that we can show we've completed a story. And we want to do it because we want to complete the story. We want to show you how the Black Christmas story ends. We're excited about it. You're excited about it. We want to show how this all ends. And that's why we want to do this. And that's why we're doing this first, because it's just going to pad our portfolio and complete the story that we've left hanging, which is very exciting. So that's the why that we've stepped up and thought, you know what, let's do this, let's do it now. And because we don't want to wait, forever, or the interest is just going to die completely. We want to do this now. So we're very excited about it. I will make more formal announcements in the coming weeks and months. But in case you are wondering, yes, Victoria Miro has agreed to come back and reprise her role as Sam. Carol Coltman has agreed to come back and reprise her role as Agnes. And Brian Charles Peter has agreed to come back and reprise his role as Billy. And I have agreed to come back and reprise my role as the voice of Billy. And Brian, I believe, is starting to grow his beard again, if I'm not mistaken, because we're still a little bit out. I mean, the Indiegogo campaign is coming in 2023. We'll probably follow the film is unlikely to come next year. I'm just going to be totally transparent. Listen, if we're backed by a studio, if we had $100,000 in our pocket right now, well, you know what? We might be able to go to camera this winter, but it's unlikely to happen. When you are crowdfunding, you're an independent filmmaker and you want to shoot at this level, that takes time, right? The process takes time. And we've just started fleshing out the second half. and we've begun the process of writing the script. And we're going to take that time throughout the fall and early winter, January, February kind of thing, to really hone the script into what we want, into something that's really special. And then we would probably launch the Indiegogo campaign late winter, spring, something to that effect, right? And then, of course, we can't go to camera again, probably till next fall. So you're probably looking at the earliest we'd go to camera is probably next November, kind of following a similar path of what we did the original. I know that might disappoint some people, but that's the reality, right? We're not Blumhouse. We're not A24. We're not Warner Brothers. We can't just say, let's do it now, have a script done in a week and, get all the money and the financing and, all the people together and all that kind of shit and just go. This is why it takes a long time for films like Never Hike Alone, Never Hike Alone 2, Never Hike in the Snow, It's Me, Billy, Dylan's New Nightmare. When you're shooting and when you're delivering a production value, a real film, right? But you're not backed by anybody but yourself. We are the studio. It takes time. It takes time. So we appreciate your patience, but it's going to be exciting. Like over this next while, it's going to be exciting because it's going to give us time to hone the script, to really make it what we want it to be, to deliver that final conclusion to this Black Christmas story. Unofficially, because really it's a trilogy that we are delivering. I mean, I guess you could watch It's Me, Billy Part 1 and 2 together and it might work as a feature. But for all intents and purposes, we're delivering a trilogy, right? You have the original Black Christmas from 1974, and then you have It's Me, Billy, which I guess now could be considered chapter 1. And then you have It's Me, Billy, chapter 2. And this is where you're going to see, the arcs come to a head, right? And trust me, you haven't seen anything yet. So things are going to get crazy. I don't want to say too much, not crazy. Like I don't want to set unrealistic expectations either. I mean, it's still going to feel like a Black Christmas movie, right? It's not blood, guts, and gore. It's not, it's so funny. I had, and I just think it's cute. And I don't mean that in a condescending way, but I've had some people when we released It's Me, Billy, were like, it was great, but it needs more blood and it needs more gore. And it's like, that's a different, It's Me, Billy's not cut from the same cloth of storytelling as like a Friday the 13th is, or a Terrifier, right? I mean, if you're looking for that, that's not what we are. We're more of that psychological, slow burn, mood, suspense, and that kind of stuff, which is going to carry over into chapter 2, right? But that doesn't mean that, things aren't going to get crazy now, because obviously things are coming to a head and we're going to see these arcs, kind of, finally sort of complete themselves and stuff. So very excited to deliver on that. And, but we're looking at, we're looking at a similar path of what we followed before. But like I just said, that gives us that time to really hone it, get you guys excited about it, have you guys spread the word. The more people can know about it, the better. The more people that can know about it, the better, because we're going to rely on you again to help us fund this project. Now, I know that there is a question of probably on everybody's mind, which is Olivia Hussey going to be in it? Is Olivia Hussey going to be in it? Let me try that again. Is Olivia Hussey going to be in it? I would love for Olivia Hussey to be in this. If Olivia Hussey is watching, I would love to talk to you about it. And of course, we would love her to reprise her role as Jess. But as I have said many times in the past, Olivia Hussey is not as accessible. She doesn't go to conventions. She doesn't, she's not as accessible as maybe some of the alum that you're used to reprising roles in fan films. Now, that doesn't mean that it's impossible. But the point I'm making is that is the goal. We would love for her to do that. We would love it. You would love it. We would love it. It naturally would give authenticity to the piece. But at the same time, I want people to know that if we can't, if because she's not interested, listen, I'm 72 years old, however old she is. fly up to Canada to shoot this independent horror. I'm not interested. I would rather just stay home and work on some. Maybe that's what it is. Or maybe she just doesn't like it. Maybe she reads it, and goes, I'm not digging it. I don't like it. Whatever maybe we never hear back. Whatever the reason is, if for whatever reason she does not want to do it or can't do it or whatever, the production will go on. We will recast. I know that might be disappointing for some because maybe you have your heart set on that. We, myself and Bruce, as the producers, as the writers, as the directors, it's what we want. That would be an amazing goal. But at the end of the day, the story comes first. And at the end of the day, we want to complete the story. And we will put just as much effort into recasting Jess Bradford as we did casting Victoria Miro as Sam. Or casting everybody, whether it was Shelby Handley as Emma, Malika Henney as Justine. We will put the same attention to detail and effort into casting, or to recasting her as we did them. So it's not going to be somebody that we it's not going to be somebody that doesn't feel like the character, maybe even doesn't look like the character. No, we're going to do our very best, our due diligence to make sure that when you watch this new actress portraying Jess Bradford, you think to yourselves, okay, well, obviously it's not Olivia Hussey, but damn, this is good. This is good. Good job. Yeah, no, I'm in. Count me in, right? Because that's the most important thing. That's the most important thing at the end of the day. So I just want people to know that. But obviously the goal is to, once we have a script, we haven't reached out to her yet, but once we have a script, we will attempt to do that. But we have to have something first to show. I don't know if she's seen part 1. I know people have added her, tweeted at her, check this out. It's amazing, blah, blah, blah. Maybe she has, and maybe she was like, or maybe she didn't. Maybe she didn't get it. I have no idea. But I just want people to know that it is something we will try. We're not going to not try. We're going to try, but she's not as accessible as some of the other alum that you might be used to. There are reasons, not knocking them, but there are reasons why, you're getting some of this alum in some films as opposed to maybe not others. So again, just want to say that, but we're very excited about it. We're very excited about it. We're very excited about the story and the direction and finally finishing this piece. Aaron Click says, will you be sending Olivia a file of its ability to view, perhaps to entice her into the project? Yeah, so Olivia is represented. I stand to be corrected on this, but this is no secret. We had reached out to her or attempted to reach out to her for part 1. One of our first, we had written the ending of part 1 in a way, there were 2 things. There was, there were 3 endings really. The first ending was with Emma in the back seat. You see the bag over her head, you cut to black. We could have rolled credits right there. And if we had no inkling or no more to the story to tell, we would have ended it right there. Totally. That's the perfect spot to end at. But it wasn't the end of the story. So we decided to tack on the other bit, which some people liked, some people didn't. But certainly it lets you know that there is more to tell. And then when you get into the basement, there were 2 endings we had written. We had written one where she says, Grandma, right? And then we cut to black on Victoria. And then the other one is Grandma. And instead of cutting to black, we cut to see Olivia Hussey as Jess Bradford looking, kind of has seen better days because she's been down there for who knows how long. And she's kind of dirty faced and all that kind of stuff. And she kind of comes into the light, not the light, but the moonlight just a little bit. And she comes in there and it's just like, oh, no way. Cut to black, roll credits, right? That would have been amazing. So that was the first thing that we wanted to do. And we had reached out to, I believe she's represented by her husband. I stand to be corrected, but I believe she is because it was the only thing I could find. And so I reached out. It it probably went through him. I don't know if he got it. He might have received my email and thought, no. He might have received it and said, hey, babe, come here. What do you think of this? And she was like, blah, blah. No. I mean, who knows? I have no idea, right? But I know she was aware of the project. I know that because very early on in one of our teaser trailers, I think it might have been Lee McCoy of Drum Dums who had reached out to her and added her the teaser trailer or something to that effect. Or maybe it was the Indiegogo teaser. It might have been the Indiegogo teaser. It might have been like really early. And she had responded to him and said, I'm paraphrasing, but it was like, oh, this looks great. They should hire my daughter to be my granddaughter. That's what she said in a tweet back to Lee. And that's actually a really good idea. But we had already cast Victoria and we were very happy with her and you know, we weren't going to, you know, change, right? So she was aware of the project in its very early stages. But whether she saw it or not, I have no idea. But anyway, yeah, so that's the goal. I just want people to know that because I know it's a big thing that is surrounding this project. So she has not been cast yet, but the goal is to make that attempt, to at least make the offer if we can raise the money, because we're going to have to pay her too, right? So, you know, we're not going to get Olivia Hussey and It's Me, Billy Chapter 2 if we only raise $10,000 to shoot this movie. So, you know, the more money we raise, the better the chances are that that might happen. So just keep that in mind as well. Now, again, I don't know how much we're looking to raise. I can tell you it will probably be at least what we asked for before, but it will probably be a bit more because this is the climax now, right? And this is where everything is sort of coming to a head. So again, we haven't even written the script yet or finished it, I should say. So I don't know, you know, ballpark, maybe 80, maybe 90,000, something like that, Canadian. I have no idea, but we'll know more as the weeks and months move along. So, but very exciting indeed, very exciting indeed. But yeah, we are definitely, you know, we're going to need your help again. You know, we're going to be relying on you guys to step up to the plate and spread the word and hopefully, you know, we'll be able to do it because it's an exciting conclusion to the Black Christmas chapter. Very exciting. Yeah, you know, like I said, it was truly humbling the first time around. And, you know, now that we have It's Me, Billy under our belts and we can show what we can do as filmmakers. And listen, that doesn't mean everybody liked the movie. There's lots of people that probably didn't like it. Like, it was too slow, or, you know, I didn't like this or I didn't like that. And that's fair, right? That's just art. You know, you create art, you put it out to the world and you let the chips fall where they may. And not everybody's going to like it. You know, and then obviously you have your trolls and from people that just don't like me. So they, anywhere they can, they'll thumb down or give a, you know, 1 out of 10 or, you know, wherever they can, they will do that. But those, you know, you don't take those seriously. I mean, they're just trolls, right? But yeah, I mean, it was a truly fun ride, and we're going to do it again, or we're going to try and do it again. And yes, I will be talking about it a lot on the channel. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to be talking a lot about Halloween and other things too. But yes, I will be talking about it a lot. I will be mentioning it a lot. Maybe not so much in the next, like, immediate little bit, because obviously we're still continuing to write the script, but I will be giving updates via social media here on the channel, the community section, Facebook, Instagram, because it's exciting. And when you're not backed by a studio, for those of you that are like, why is he talking about it again? Because I have to talk about it again. If I didn't talk about it, if I didn't put it out there, we would not have raised $64,000. We only were able to do it because I didn't shut up about it and you guys stepped up to the plate, right? It was amazing. Now, again, not every day, not every video, but we are beginning that process again. And it's exciting too, because it's new, right? It's not like I'm talking about the first movie again, right? We're talking about the new chapter that is coming to fruition. So it's very exciting. And I know Victoria is really excited about it. I exchanged a few messages with her and she's pumped. and Caro is pumped, and Brian is pumped, and obviously there will be new. I don't want to say too much yet, but there'll be a few new cast members as we sort of bring this to a close. And thank you to everybody as well yesterday who liked and shared and commented on the official announcement, the official sort of announcement trailer that we dropped yesterday, which was a lot of fun to put together. And, it's funny when we were, because again, we've been sort of at this for a little bit, even though you guys haven't known about it. When we were figuring out how to promote this, we were like, it doesn't really matter what you call it, but we were like, it's Me Billy 2? It's Me Billy Part 2? It's Me Billy Chapter 2? And there was something about Chapter 2 that we just really liked. And because the film, it's essentially, it's like a Halloween 2 thing, right? Where it will essentially pick up on the same night. It feels like, this is Chapter 2, and of course we have the Roman numeral 2 as our logo. And there was many, as you guys know, actually, if I can bring up the one of the promotional image, or the promotional image that we dropped yesterday. There it is. Actually, you know what? Let me, can I make myself a little, just want you guys to be able to see me. There I am. So this is the first promotional image that we dropped yesterday. Maybe some of you haven't seen it. I don't know. But we decided to go with Chapter 2. And somebody had reached out to me yesterday and said, that doesn't look like a real phone. And I'm like, it's because it's not a real phone. This is a stylized promotional image. It's not a real phone. If it was a real phone, it would look like a real phone. But we decided to drop the first promotional image like this because we really liked how stylized it is and how retro. It's got kind of that sort of retro, old school kind of 70s. At least we think it does. It's kind of got that vibe to it. Not completely, but a little bit of that vibe. And we decided to go with the Roman numeral 2, but again, stylize it a bit. And one of the things that I really like about it that I wanted, because there's many different Roman numeral 2s, right? You could just have like 2 lines. You could have 2 lines with the crosses at the top and bottom, which we sort of have here, but it's broken up a little bit. But what I like about this too, and what made me just fall in love with it and wanted to use it for this next chapter, is how long it is. Now, obviously, we can make that smaller and so it looks shorter, but I love how long each line is. It's got this eeriness to it to me. There's like this eerie sort of weird, eerie look to it that that I like. And on its own as well, like just on its own, it looks eerie, creepy, I think is the right word. So, and obviously on the promotional image, if you look closely enough, I don't know how many of you did, but obviously, Justine's face, there's cracks all over it. Emma's face, there's cracks all over it. But with Sam in the middle, her face is still untouched, which obviously is symbolic of the deaths of the other 2 characters, and Sam, of course, in the middle, who is still there. There will be other promotional images and material that will drop in the coming weeks and months, of course, to get people excited and to remind people that we are still, moving ahead with this. But it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time. And where am I here? Oh, I am live. Sorry, not, of course I'm live. I meant I am on the right screen. Let me just take this off. So, yeah, now let me see. Did I go over everything I wanted to go over? I think so. I write things down and then it all bleeds in together when I speak. It's just the kind of person I am. yeah, again, thanks to everybody who reached out yesterday and said that they're very excited. I'm there. I'm going to donate. This is going to be awesome. I appreciate it. Again, the Indiegogo campaign is next year, probably next spring, is probably when it's going to be. I mean, maybe earlier, maybe a bit later. I don't know. But like I said a few moments ago, if you're just tuning in, we're probably looking at following a similar path. So I know for some of you, maybe you're disappointed to hear that because you're eager to get this going. But again, we're not backed by a studio, so we can't green light something right away. And it's never guaranteed, right? When you are crowdfunding a project, if you want It's Me Billy Chapter 2 to happen, if you want It's Me Billy Chapter 2 to happen at the same production value in the same way that we did Part 1, then we need to raise the money. Because that's how we're going to be able to hire the crew again. That's how we're going to be able to hire, to rent, the lighting and grip, the cinematic cameras, to rent the location again. I mean, keep in mind that the location we rented, just the location, just that house for a week was like $10,000. That's just the rental of the location. So now some of you might be thinking, oh my God, that's so much. It's not really. It's not. I mean, this is what it costs to make movies, to make real movies, right? So, it really comes. So although we've announced the movie, it hasn't been greenlit yet, technically, because we don't have the money. So we need to raise that. So we need to spread the awareness, get it out there, talk about it, share it with people who maybe saw the first one, but don't know and really liked it, but didn't know that there's a Chapter 2 that's on the horizon and that wants to be made. We are very excited to do this, and we want to deliver a fitting end, a proper end to the Black Christmas story. One that Black Christmas fans can be proud of, one that they can look at and hopefully pop in the original It's Me Billy and It's Me Billy Chapter 2 every Christmas. That would be really cool. Like, even though we're not officially canon, and obviously we can't make money off of it because we don't own the IP, it's really cool that some people have reached out to us and been like, dude, this is canon now. Like, this is way better than like the 06 movie, and it's way better than the 19 film. Like, this is the second. And listen, I don't care if everybody on the face of the planet's like, yeah, but it's not better than the original. That's fine with me. The fact that people have said it's way better than 06 or 19 especially is kind of cool. I mean, 19 had like a $4 million or no, was it higher than that? Might have been more than that. 19 was a Blumhouse backed and produced major Hollywood film, and then we come along with our $64,000 budget and blow it out of the water. To hear people say that is like incredible. It's like, that's good with me, man. That's good with me. But yeah, we want to complete the story so Black Christmas fans all around the world can, and again, if you don't like It's Me Billy, you don't like It's Me Billy. That's fine. That's fair, right? That's art, right? That, as I said, it's totally fine if you don't like it. You can't please everybody. But thankfully, and clearly you can see too, that It's Me Billy is a labor of love to Black Christmas fans. Like, the people I think that are going to appreciate It's Me Billy and will probably appreciate Chapter 2 the most are Black Christmas fans. Like, if you're not a fan of the original, you think it's a boring piece of shit, which a lot of people do, or you're just like, meh, whatever. Or in your horror movies, you need more excitement, action, blood, guts. Well, then you're probably not going to like what we're selling, right? I mean, it's a different kind of film, right? But if you're a Black Christmas fan who really loved what we did and would love to see this sort of trilogy come to a close, then we're going to need you, man. And we're going to need all of you. Even if you don't like it, we're going to need you anyway. Come on, throw in. We're going to need you anyway. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun ride, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome. All right. Now that is out of the way, if you guys have any questions about It's Me Billy Chapter 2, please send them in. I know some of you might be wondering my thoughts on the new Halloween TV spot that dropped today. I can tell you, you can watch a video that I posted just this afternoon. It is on my channel right now. It's not even 5 minutes long. You can watch that and even come back and not miss a beat with me. You know me, I go on and on. It's on my channel if you want to know my thoughts on the TV spot to Halloween Ends that dropped today. You can do that. But if you have It's Me Billy questions, please feel free to fire them in. Anything about the production, where we're at in terms of development, anything. I would be more than happy to answer as many questions as I can about the project. Obviously, you know, the plot is under wraps. We don't want to divulge too much, but it is, for all of you that said, well, this doesn't make sense. How are they going to have us, you know, this all make sense? It'll all make sense. Now, again, that doesn't mean that you're going to like it, right? Those are two different things. Two different things. It will make sense. And it's not going to be stupid. Like, it's going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, you know, whatever. I mean, we've thought this out. We've planned this out. But that doesn't mean that you're going to like it either, right? I mean, those are two different things, right? So, but very exciting stuff ahead. We're very excited about this, to jump in and do this again. And I can't believe I forgot this. Gregory Bennett, our DP on It's Me, Billy, will be coming back to shoot It's Me, Billy Chapter 2. So we're very excited to have Greg back on board as well. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I'm hoping I can get as much of the same crew back as we had before. Now, depending on, you know, what the script entails and what the demand is, we may need to hire more. We may have to bring on more crew members this time around than we did the first time around. But I'm hoping everybody's probably a long shot, because again, these are professionals working in Canada's film industry, so they may not even be available. But I'm hoping that we can get as much of the original crew back as possible. I would love to have them all back. I would. It'd be amazing. But I saw Greg recently and I said, Greg, Billy, Chapter 2, you in? He's like, yes, let's do it. So really happy to have Greg back, because he shot the shit out of Chapter 1. And, you know, it was nominated for a CSC award, and we're really looking forward to having him back on. So I just want to say that as well. I forgot to say that earlier. But yeah, okay. So let's jump over to the chat room and see what you guys and gals are saying here. I know there were 2 super chats that came in a few moments ago. Let me just see here. Jordan Ellis says, "Rest in peace to the Queen." Yes. Yep. I had mentioned that at the top of the show. My thoughts and prayers are with the royal family. Dave, congratulations on Billy Chapter 2 and 27,000 subscribers. Thanks, man. Love seeing the channel grow and can't wait for Billy's return. Thank you very much, Jordan. Appreciate that, buddy. Peter Anthony Productions Incorporated. Peter Anthony sends in $9.99, says, congratulations. Looking forward to seeing Chapter 2. Thank you, Peter. I really appreciate that, man. Peter, of course, is the writer-director of Friday the 13th, Rosebud. Roseblood, I think. Rosebud. It's fucking Orson Welles. No. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Let me see here. There was another one that came in down here. I just want to make sure I get them before they disappear. Happy Sanjo says, will you be adding new characters? What kind of tone will part 2 be? Sorry if this was already sent. My super chats are being weird. No, I didn't see any others that came in. Yeah, so the tone is going to follow a similar tone as part 1. Again, as I was saying earlier, keep in mind, Black Christmas is not Friday the 13th. So if you're looking for, blood and guts and slicing and, all that kind of shit, that stuff's great. That stuff's great, right? But Black Christmas is the style of horror film that Black Christmas is not cut from the same cloth of storytelling. So that's why when you watch our film, it's more nuanced. It's a slow burn, more about mood and atmosphere and suspense. So Chapter 2 will continue that. However, because Chapter 2 is essentially the climax of the story, well, shit's about to get real, right? So, I don't want to say too much, but, arcs are going to come to their head, and things are going to unravel, and I don't want to say there's going to be action, because I don't want people to mistakenly think I mean like there's going to be like, explosions and car crashes and all that kind of stuff, right? Although I guess we could write that in there, and if we raise $500,000, maybe we could do that. But it's essentially like, third act shit, right? When we get towards the end of the film. So things will pick up naturally, and that's not a spoiler. That's just kind of the natural sort of progression of the story when you're looking at two parts. But it is going to follow the same tone and the same feel. We want it to be scary, if not scarier. We're actually really hoping that this can be even scarier and more tension filled than chapter one. We're hoping with that. Now, obviously you have to balance that by delivering on everything else, right? Because again, we're moving towards sort of the climax of the story. So you don't want to have it too slow or take too long, but you don't want to have none of that, right? You don't want to peak too soon either. So for us, it's all about that balance, and delivering on something that Black Christmas fans can be proud of, horror fans can be proud of, yeah. But to answer your question, yes, it's going to feel like it's the same. We're not changing the style of the direction or the approach. And new characters. Yes, there will be a couple of new characters. Yes, there will be. Let me see here. Okay, I got that. Everyday Horror says, are you concerned about It's Me, Billy not doing well? You got 45,000 views on the first film, and you often say sequels don't perform well as the original, so do you expect this to do better? Well, Everyday Horror, here's the thing, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. So hopefully you're still in the chat room, because you've asked this a number of times. It's Me, Billy has 45,000 views. You have to keep in mind that It's Me, Billy does not only have 45,000 views because it's a reflection of the quality of work, right? It's a reflection a lot of the times so when you say not doing well, I don't look at that as not doing well. Do you know what I mean? If this was a Halloween fan film that we shot on the Airy and delivered the same level of production value, and it only had 45,000 views, I'd say, yeah, that's a colossal failure. That's an epic failure. But it's Black Christmas. So in relation to the popularity of the IP, in relation to the interest of the intellectual property, in relation to, Black Christmas, how it holds up in the pop culture horror zeitgeist, 45,000 views, it's really good. It's really good because it's in line with what we expected for Black Christmas. If this was Friday the 13th, it would have made that in an hour because the IP is far more popular. People are crazy about Jason and Freddy and Michael, and that's where the popular interest lies. The reason why we chose to do Black Christmas and not just a Friday the 13th film or an Elm Street film or a Halloween film, especially Halloween, is because, especially when it comes to Halloween, the fan film market, if I could say, is saturated. Like just saturated with really good ones, not so really good ones. You got ones done by guys who are clearly filmmakers and know what they're doing. And then you have ones done by people who are just hanging out in their backyard, farting around for, 2 hours, shot on their phone and everything's like this, whatever. But there's a fan film for every state, city, province, it's insane. We chose Black Christmas because we are Canadian. Black Christmas is a Canadian movie. It was shot in Toronto. We are Canadian filmmakers from Toronto, and we thought, who better to do it than us? And there was nobody doing it. So we knew going in that It's Me, Billy wasn't going to have like 500,000 views in its first year. That would be ridiculous. The only way that would happen is if it was picked up by like a major trade. Like, holy shit, check this fucking thing out. And it's in Deadline, it's in the Hollywood Reporter, or whatever the case is. Even Bloody Disgusting was following our lead up to the release of the movie. And they were talking about it, promoting it. Shout out to them. Awesome dudes over there. Thank you so much for doing that, by the way. And even then, right, it wasn't getting the interest or the traction that, you know, a Jason movie would or a Michael film would, right? Because it's all about the IP. So when you look at it, it's relative, right? A Black Christmas fan film has nearly 50,000 views. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, right? So when it comes to It's Me Billy Chapter 2, do I think that this is not going to get the same views? I don't think that. And the reason why I don't think that is because I think it wouldn't surprise me if it got the same. I think we're going to be on track for about the same, maybe even a bit more. Maybe even the marketing and the release of the film and the lead up and the buzz will also, and it likely will also help to boost the views for the first one too. So it'll draw interest for people to go back because there's still lots of Black Christmas fans that haven't seen it either, right? So I'm not worried about it because it's relative to the popularity of the IP. It's like shooting. It's like this. It's like here's an analogy. So it's like a $2 million low budget horror movie that isn't Halloween or anything, right? Making $35 million at the box office. That's really good. It's not Halloween. It's not Friday. It's not Elm Street. It was made for $2 million and it made $30 million at the box office. That's amazing, right? Now, if that was Halloween, they made for $2 million and made $30 million at the box office. Ooh. Now, in terms of the return, it's still really good in terms of, from a business perspective, it's still really good, but it's Halloween. It should be making a lot more than that. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's similar to that kind of thing. In relation to the popularity of the IP, I'm very proud of what we were able to do. I'm proud of the views. I'm proud of the response. And I'm proud that we delivered a professional, independent horror short that a lot of people consider better than the 2 studio remakes. It's pretty damn good, if you ask me. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. So let's see here. What else we got? Gary Rangel says, Dave, do you like when sequels are called Chapter 2? I think it does suit the subtitles for a horror sequel. I never really thought about it. You know, Gary, when we were, again, thinking about when we were thinking about how to approach the marketing for part 2, like I said earlier, It's Me Billy 2. We thought of just Billy, you know, we thought of just Billy. We thought of It's Me Billy 2. We thought of It's Me Billy Part 2, It's Me Billy Chapter 2, all the ways you can, you know, whatever, right? And we settled on Chapter 2 just because of the, and I guess it's kind of hard to know because the movie's not even made yet, but I think it's because of the execution. We knew that we wanted to pick up where we left off. We knew that it was going to kind of have that Halloween 2 vibe, like it's one movie, but with 2 separate parts kind of thing. Now, again, things can change. We're still in development. We're still writing the first draft of the script. But that's where our mindset was. And it felt like Chapter. And Chapter is something you don't see a lot. I mean, you see it with It, right? It Chapter 1, It Chapter 2, but you don't see it a lot. I mean, you do see it. You do see it, but you don't see it a lot. At least I don't anyway. So we thought, yeah, why not Chapter 2? And then it came down to, well, do we have a 2 or do we have the Roman numerals? And we wanted the Roman numerals, really these elongated, you know, just kind of, it's eerie to me. It just looks really creepy. And we settled on that. So yeah, but I agree with you though. Something creepy about it. Peter Duan, is that how you say that? Maybe I'm wrong, dude. But anyway, Peter sends in $14.99 Australia dollars. Thanks, buddy. Says, before you asked, oh, there you go. Duan. I think I was right. I think I got it right. Or is it Dujan? Dujan, maybe. Dujan? Maybe I got it wrong. All right, before you ask, it's pronounced Dujan. Okay. Just wanted to say you're doing a great job with the channel. Been a fan for many years. Cheers. Thanks, Peter. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. I know I can be an acquired taste for some because of my personality, but thankfully, over the years, people have stuck with me, and I think they kind of get it. They know that I'm satirical a lot of the times, and I'm just farting around having fun, not being serious. So yeah, it's awesome that you're still here. Thank you for still being here. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Evil Alex says the original Black Christmas never was a big hit at the box office itself. A fan film not going to make Halloween numbers, and numbers are good for it. Thank you, Evil. I could not agree more. If we had made a Halloween fan film on the same production value, the exact same way, on the same production value, at the same production value level, I mean, we probably would have been taken down. Let's just put it that way, because our fan film would have looked like the production value from the releases that Blumhouse is doing. Like it would have, it would have been ridiculous. So we probably wouldn't have been able to get away with it. Maybe, but maybe not. See, the rights holders for Friday the 13th have been very good to Vincent DeSanti, and he's met Victor Miller, and he's, and they're actually quite supportive with what he's doing. And that's why he hasn't received any backlash. And I don't think he will continue to receive it. He's not making money off of it. Any extra funds he makes, I think he puts towards a charity, if I'm not mistaken. If Vince ever sees this, he can let me know for sure. But he has a good relationship with those who could, if they wanted to, cause trouble for him. I think the Friday the 13th rights, like overall, they seem pretty lenient, I think. And it's just free. It's free marketing. It's extra exposure. Trancas, on the other hand, has in the past shut some Halloween fan films down that have raised their production value, but nowhere near the production value that we delivered on Billy. So that just kind of makes me think there's just no way. There's no way we could do that. We'd be shut down because they wouldn't want people confused. Do you know what I mean? So, but Evil Alex is right. I'm very proud. Are you kidding me? 45,000 views on a Black Christmas fan film? Enormously proud because it's relative. If this was a Halloween fan film shot the way we shot Billy and it only had 45,000 views, I'd be on here going, what the fuck is wrong with you people? How come nobody's watching this shit? What's going on? Because I know the fan base is so massive and huge. Black Christmas, not so much. I've actually had people reach out to me. This is actually kind of cool. This is really cool. I've had people, not a lot, but I've had a few people say to me, I'm not a Black Christmas fan, but I supported you. I supported the film because I love you, and not love you, but you know what I mean? I love what you're doing. I want to see you succeed. I supported the film, although I'm not a Black Christmas fan, but watching It's Me, Billy made me appreciate the 74 film more. I went and watched the 74 film, then I watched It's Me, Billy, and it's like it works so seamlessly as like this companion piece or, spirited unofficial sequel. Like it actually made me appreciate the first one more. I was like, really? They're like, yeah. And I'm like, that's awesome. That's amazing. That's some of the best compliments that you can get. That's really cool. Again, not a lot of people have said that, but I have had people say that, and I think that's really cool. That's really cool. It's cool that there are certain people out there that, because when Christmas rolled around last year, I was tagged in a few posts from people saying, just got done watching Black Christmas, now I'm popping in the sequel, and it's Me, Billy, or I'm going to watch a sequel. And I'm like, that's so cool. And there's posts I've seen where I haven't even been tagged, which is really cool because that means they don't even know me. They might not even follow me. They might just find it online and they're just watching it. And it's like, that's really cool. You know what I mean? It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. So no, I'm very proud of it. I think it's done exceptionally well, actually. Oh, Frank says, think you missed some super chats. Thank you, Frank. Let me go back. I did. I see it here. Thank you. Yeah, sometimes they don't pop up right away. There's that, well, you know this, Frank, having your own channel now, how things will, and then there'll be like a shift and you completely miss it. Thank you, Frank. Can always count on Frank. Frank the Tank. Haven't said Frank the Tank in a while. Anthony Bazzuto sends in $4.99. Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate that. Says, Dave, great news hearing about the second installment. It's fantastic watching your portfolio grow. I hope Hollywood takes notice. Cheers. I hope so too, man. I hope so too. That's the dream, right? That's the dream of every independent filmmaker is to, well, the dream really is to not have to worry about money and to be able to get paid to make movies. I mean, I'll be honest with you. And I can't speak for everybody, but at 43 years old, yes, would it be amazing to be able to have a career that was so successful that I was like making movies that were released by Warner Brothers and you guys were all going to see it opening weekend and it was making $100 million. Yeah, that'd be amazing. Of course, that'd be amazing. But at the end of the day, I just want to make movies, you know, and, now, having said that, the goal would be to, like I said, I've worked 20 years in the entertainment industry, but I'm certainly not paid as a filmmaker. I'm paid as a voice actor, but I'm not paid as a filmmaker. So I'm still making movies for free, for all intents and purposes. So the goal would be to elevate our careers to a point where we can actually make a career out of it, right? Which would be really cool. But whether I just have movies that show up on Netflix or Prime or, you know, or I get some big theatrical release, that'd be amazing, but I have no control over that. In terms of, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, the chips are going to fall where they may, right? You work hard, you do the best you possibly can, and you let the chips fall where they may. And if you have talent and you understand storytelling, filmmaking, the filmmaking process, if you're good to work with, you're prepared, you know, you're good to people, it can take you a long way. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens. But I appreciate that, man. I really do. And It's Me, Billy Chapter 2 is the next step in that process. It's just basically adding to our arsenal of work that we can show in a portfolio and say, hey, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we're all doing. I mean, at the end of the day, whether it's Vincent DeSanti with Never Hike Alone or Cecil Laird with Dylan's New Nightmare. I mean, that is why we're doing this. I mean, yes, we're doing it for the fans, of course, because we're fans, right? We're doing this for Black Christmas fans, no doubt, because we're Black Christmas fans. But we're also doing it because we want to pad our portfolios. We want to show what we can do as filmmakers. And the fact that you guys, see, that bodes well for us too. People don't realize that when we can actually successfully crowdfund projects, and I don't just mean like, you know, $500. I mean, when you can successfully crowdfund a $60,000 movie or a $100,000 movie, or in Vince's case, a $250,000 movie, it's Jason Voorhees after all, that actually looks really good for potential investors, production companies, things like that. It looks good. So, well, they've successfully crowdfunded. Why would people donate to this if there wasn't something going on here that we should kind of check out? Do you know what I mean? So that looks good too. It does look good. Appreciate it. Frank Riker sends in $5, says, Dave, you know you'll have my full support, but only if you make the movie 30 minutes shorter, less dark, and have boobs. Well, it's not going to have boobs. I don't know how long the movie's going to be. Yeah, the first one is a slow burn. But Frank likes to rib on me on the slow burn. But I think it worked well. I think there was a lot we had to catch people up on. Obviously, we had the first half of chapter 1. There was a lot of exposition, but the key, and I say this to aspiring filmmakers, obviously, you always want to show, not tell, when you can. Right? Sometimes budget can prevent that. Sometimes logistics can prevent that. But at the end of the day, if you have to tell, quote unquote, always make sure that it's properly motivated and it's interesting. It's not just, two people standing in the middle of a room, just talking back and forth or whatever, right? When it came for us, like at the porch scene, there was a lot of emotional weight there. It was properly motivated by Sam needing to sort of share her feelings with her best friend. Same, the dinner table stuff, they're having dinner, they're laughing, they're talking. You always have to make sure that when you're going to deliver exposition, It's properly motivated. So you have to ask yourself, why are these characters having this conversation? Is this information the audience already knows, right? Is this just an exposition dump? Or is it motivated correctly? You know, these two characters are speaking about this because of this, this, and this makes sense. And that's why they need to do this and all that kind of stuff, right? So we feel that we did a really good job of doing that. But it's a slow burn, you know. It takes a bit to get to sort of the more horror aspects. And the dark, I don't think it's too dark at all, Frank. I don't know what screen you're watching. Well, I mean, I guess if you're watching it on a tiny screen, it might be too dark. But watch it on Vimeo, or if you have the Blu-ray, watch it on that, on the biggest screen you can find. Looks great. Looks great. But no boobs, Frank. Sorry. No boobs. Good Real Hunting sends in $1.99. Thanks, man. Says, it's Me Billy 1 for Blu-ray campaign next year. Possibly. So obviously we're still a little too early to know exactly what the perks are going to be. We have some ideas of what the perks will be. And that's possibly one. Or there may be a limited perk where you can get like both together or something to that degree. So it's always possible. It's always possible. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. And then I got the Peter one. Got that. Wait a minute. I know some others come in. Movie Chat and More Part 2 sends in £5, says, does it ever worry you Blumhouse having monopoly on the big horror franchises? Best of luck with Billy 2. It does. It does, Richard. I understand from a business perspective why Jason Blum would want to have the likes of Friday and Elm Street, but I don't think he should. I want to see another studio or another production company's take on it. You know, I don't want to see Blumhouse have a monopoly on everything. So yeah, I agree with that. And thank you. Thanks for the best of luck. Appreciate that. Cody Leach. And I know this is the real Cody Leach because A, a troll would never send in money. And if they do, the joke's on them. I mean, seriously. And B, there's a wrench beside his name. Sends in $5. Thanks, Cody. Really appreciate that, man. Says, happy to see you guys continue the story. Can't wait to see it. Thank you very much. Yeah, we are excited. We are excited. Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's not, like I said, the goal of chapter 2 is to bring the story to a conclusion. So it's not something, it's our Halloween ends for all intents and purposes. I mean, maybe somebody somewhere down the road will want to continue the story. I don't know. But no, it's our conclusion to the Black Christmas story, the one that began in 1974 with the original Black Christmas. And hopefully this will satisfy Black Christmas fans and maybe, just maybe, I don't know, maybe somebody will take notice and be like, maybe we should have just done this. Maybe we should just turn this into a theatrical release, or, you know what? And look, I mean, depending on if we do get to do it and how successful they are, or we are, you probably could just take Billy 1, 2, put them together and release that. You probably could do that. I mean, they would probably want to have more control over it, but, and reshoot the whole thing. But yeah, you never know. You never know. But the goal of Billy 2 is to complete the story, deliver a conclusion to Black Christmas fans, and to continue just the dream of making films at this level and seeing where it all goes. So thanks, Cody. I really appreciate that. You're awesome. Where Nomad has gone before sends in $10. Thank you very much. Says, will there be a tier 2 get part 1 with part 2? I was unable to get It's Me Billy. Like I was just saying, maybe. We're not quite ready to launch the Indiegogo campaign yet. I haven't even started building it yet because I think they only give you 2 months, which is so stupid. I mean, I guess I understand, or they probably have a lot of unreleased projects on there. But I think unless they've changed it, when you start building an Indiegogo campaign, you have 2 months and then you have to launch it. Well, we're not ready to do that yet. I mean, we're not ready to launch this thing in November. So we probably won't start. Now, that doesn't mean that, we haven't started working on a few little like graphics and stuff. But in terms of the actual campaign itself and the tiers and the perks, we will know more about what that is probably early next year. Maybe later this year. Yeah, maybe. So we haven't really started working on that yet, but that's possible. Yes, that's possible. There may be a tier where you get, I mean, listen, there'll definitely be a tier where you'll get It's Me, Billy Chapter 2 on Blu-ray. Obviously, that should go without saying. We might introduce maybe a DVD version. I don't know. Whenever I watch other campaigns, usually the DVD versions don't do as well. So we'll probably stick to Blu-ray. 4K is far too expensive. But again, it depends how much we raise, right? You know, we raise $500,000. Well, then maybe. No, it'll be Blu-ray. Just easier, cheaper. So we'll definitely have a tier for 2, for sure. But whether we have a tier where you can get the first one again or the first 1 and 2 together, not sure yet. It's possible, but it will probably be limited. Although I don't know. We haven't started discussing it yet. Alex Shambach says, "Hey Dave, happy to hear about the second part. Will you be filming in the same location in Canada? Rest in peace to the Queen, true historical icon. Definitely rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth II." That is the goal. Yes, I have already, a few weeks back, I reached out to John. Shout out to John, who is the owner of the house where we shot. And I just kind of gave him a heads up that we were in the next few weeks, we were going to be making an official announcement that we were moving into develop. I mean, really, It's Me, Billy Chapter 2 has been in development really for the summer. It's actually been in development for the last couple of months, but we just didn't make the announcement until yesterday officially. And, but I had spoke to John a few weeks ago, and he, because I wanted to make sure that he was still there. Is he still the owner of the house? Is he still there? I mean, maybe they've switched owners and now maybe I can't shoot there anymore. I have no idea, but he's still there, thankfully, fingers crossed. And he said that, he said, "Sounds good, Dave. We love the first one." And this was a really nice compliment because he didn't have to say this. As you can imagine, we're not the only movie that shoots there. When we left, there was a film crew that showed up, I think like 2 days after we left, and shot another horror movie there. Lots of horror movies get shot there. Lots of Hallmark Christmas movies get shot there as well. I mean, it's beautiful, right? He said in his response back to me, he said, "That's awesome. Great to know that you're moving forward with Chapter 2. He said, "My wife and I actually think it's like the first one you did. We think it is the most beautiful our film has ever looked. Our film. It's the most beautiful our house has ever looked in a movie." And they have lots of movies shot there. And that was really cool of him because, listen, he would know, okay? Because I'm telling you, if I had a film crew shooting in my house on the regular, I would be watching every movie that, even if it was a movie I had no interest in, like a Hallmark film or whatever, I would watch the movie for sure because I'd want to see my house, right? So he would know. And he said that. He said, "It's the most beautiful we've ever seen our house. Like the way you shot our house, it's great." So that was kind of cool. That was a really nice compliment. And, but yeah, so the goal is, of course, to shoot back there at the same location. And there's a couple of other locations that I won't say what they are, but they're, as of right now, again, this can change. We're in a first draft of the script. Things can change. But as of right now, there's a couple of other locations as well. A very generous super chat comes in from Jordan Ellis. Thank you, Jordan. Really appreciate that, man. Says, "I really enjoyed the teaser for Halloween Ends. I love the line, 'It's time to put the boogeyman to bed.' Really, really cool. Did you notice the sit-up in the teaser? It goes by very quickly, but a solid sit-up. Absolutely love it." I did. Yep. Oh, I noticed it. I noticed all of that. And I'm sure there are Halloween channels right now that are dissecting every little thing and going in and frame by frame. I don't mind going frame by frame, but I like to reserve that kind of stuff for when it really counts. Like when the teaser trailer dropped in July, I didn't, it was the first real marketing material we had with this very kind of film, right? So it's always fun to kind of dive in and go through it on a very sort of intricate level. But I don't want to make a habit of doing that. I certainly don't want to do that with everything that drops, because you definitely can overanalyze and overthink and all that kind of stuff. So I just jumped on and gave my general thoughts of what I liked. The next time I do a bit of a deep dive will either be when the trailer drops, the official trailer, unless they play it so close to the vest that there's just not a lot to talk about, which is highly unlikely, but maybe. And or when the movie is out. I mean, obviously when the movie comes out on the 14th of October, yeah, you can, bet your ass we're going to be doing some deep dives here on the channel, right? So, but yes, I did notice that. It's very cool. Very cool. Cody Snyder sends in $5, says, I was late today. When shooting start? Eager here. Well, again, like I said earlier in the show, Cody, we have just entered the we've been in development over the summer, but we're in early development. So we're in the process of writing the first draft of the screenplay. We're looking to follow a similar path as the production before. So it is unlikely that we're going to be shooting this winter. Again, when you're not backed by a studio and you've got to, spearhead a project of this size yourself, it takes some time. Obviously, we're going to be doing the same approach as we did with Chapter 1, which is making a real movie. So there's lots of intricate details and logistics that involves with our team to make sure that we deliver the best possible product possible. And of course, that starts with the script and making sure that it is the climax that we want. And so, yeah, I mean, if we just wanted to shoot it on our phones and go out and half-ass it, well, we'll do it next week, but there's a lot that we have. And there's an expectation now, right? Because we showed what we could do as filmmakers. We showed the production value we could deliver. We showed sort of our filmmaking style, our directing style when it comes to, certainly when it comes to Black Christmas and sort of the approach that we were taking with the story. And there's a lot to go over, there's a lot to jump back into the saddle again. And it's a lot of emotional, mental, commitment, but it's great. It's great, but we're making a movie, right? So it takes a lot. It takes a lot. And so similar path, get the script done, flesh it out, go through a couple of drafts, make sure we're happy, launch the Indiegogo campaign, maybe the end of next winter, maybe spring again, somewhere in there, going to camera, hopefully maybe next November. So we're still a year away. The earliest, we're a year away from going to camera in November. The only way that we would go to camera like this winter, be it like in March or February or something, was if somebody suddenly came along and said, hey, here's $100,000 right now. Finish that script and go to town. Be like, okay, great, let's do it. You know what I mean? But that's not going to happen. So we got to go through the process again. But we're very excited about it because it's going to be fun, because it's a process that we love doing. We enjoyed it. And we've already got the first part under our belt, so we can show what we can do. And now we want to take it to the next level, and cap this film off, and or cap this story off, I should say. And it's just fun, and without you guys, wouldn't be possible. It sounds like such an overused cliche to say, but it's true. Without you guys, it wouldn't be possible. It's true, right? Because nobody with $100,000 is, it's always possible. There are angel investors out there. There are people, but usually they're looking to drop investments on things they can get their money back on, right? You can't do that with this because it's a fan film. Nobody can make money off of this. So I guess in the term, in a sense of an angel investor, who are usually people with deep pockets that just, toss around money, it does happen depending on the situation, but it's not going to happen here. So that's why we count on you guys, right? We count on our team, which is amazing. You guys are awesome. Movie Chat and More Part 2 sends in £10 and says, please give a shout out to my nephew, Kel. Hello, Kel. What's going on, buddy? I'll show him this vid on October 15th. We are seeing Halloween Ends that day, and say hi to Bonnie, Ted, Lindsay, if that's okay, Dave. Well, hello, Bonnie, Ted, and Lindsay, and Kel. I hope you guys are doing well, and enjoy Halloween Ends. I hope you love it. I hope you like it. I hope it hits all the Halloween fandom beats for you, and that you can walk out of the theater going, now that is the ending we Halloween fans deserve. Shout out to Bonnie, Ted, Lindsay, and Kel. And thank you, Richard. Appreciate that. Robert Thidoff says, Dave, sorry I joined late. That's okay. If this was already asked, but for It's Me, Billy 2, is it imperative that there is high prevalence of snow to keep with the continuity? Okay. I don't want to say too much. I will say that, yes, obviously that would help. So it's not something that, I mean, it's not a film we can shoot in the summer. You know, we would like to keep that continuity as much as possible. Now, something that may happen, and again, it all comes down to the script. What does the script entail? You know, what does the script dictate? What's the story dictate? So hypothetically, if we went to camera next November, and we didn't get the serendipitous freak snowstorm we got the first time, right? For those of you that don't know, we were fully ready to shoot It's Me, Billy without snow. Because if you live in the Northwest or the Northeast or here in Canada or the Midwest, if you live in a place where you get the four seasons, you know that it's not unprecedented to have a green Christmas. Not green as in lush, but you know, there's no snow, right? That's not unprecedented. That happens quite a bit. As long as everything looks dreary and gray and there's no leaves on the trees, you could totally shoot a movie saying it's Christmas and be like, yeah, like traditionally, obviously there's snow, but I get it. So we were totally prepared for that. But the night we arrived, and this is no exaggeration, we arrived on Sunday. We were starting to shoot the next day, Monday morning. The Sunday we arrive at the house, and we knew that this was a possibility because we were following the weather reports. We arrive at the house and we're inside. The girls are signing a lot of the perks, you know, your posters and your phones and photos and stuff. And Nikita, our gaffer, comes in and says, it's snowing. Because he was outside in the truck handling a lot of the gear. And we're like, what? So we go outside and it's snowing. The very first shot of the movie, when we open up and the girls are on the side of the road in a car, that snow you see fell not 12 hours earlier. Like, that's what I'm talking. It wasn't like that snow was not there 24 hours prior to that. All that snow you see, those drone shots with all that snow, that wasn't there 24 hours. Actually, no, the drone shots were a couple days later. 48 hours before that, that snow was not there. So could it happen again? It could. It could. But having grown up in that area, I know it's all that storm, you can't count on that. It's entirely possible that we could go shoot chapter 2, set it for the same time of year, and there's no snow. So what may end up happening, if snow is imperative, and we definitely need it, and we don't want to recycle footage from the first movie, because it would look like we're recycling footage from the first movie, and we need snow, then we would probably send a second unit up in the winter, right? So we would probably, as soon as it snows, you know, or we'd go up in January, February, you know, get establishing shots, new drone shots, all that kind of jazz. And then that's easy to put into the timeline of where you need it. That's probably what we would do. If it was imperative we have it, new stuff. Or it might be imperative that maybe some of the movie takes place in the snow, right? Maybe some of the movie happens out in the snow. Who knows? I don't want to say too much, but I'm just saying, right? Who knows, right? And then it becomes, well, no, we gotta, you know, and then do you split up the production, right? You shoot some of it in November and then you go back up there in January, when there's snow, shoot the rest. That's entirely possible too. Or do you just shoot it all in January 2024? I mean, that's entirely possible too. I know it sounds like a long way away, but it's not really when you think about movies, even at the Hollywood level, when movies enter development to the time that they're released, unless it's rushed into production like the 2019 Black Christmas, there usually is like a 18-month, 24-month, it usually is that time frame, right? So, but it's exciting, man. I am excited about it. And these next few months are going to be very exciting. Going to be very exciting. The hype is starting. The hype is starting. Let me see here. Got that one. Got that. Let me just see. There was another one here I wanted to. Where'd it go? Got that. Oh, I thought I saw it. Now it disappeared. Did it scroll down too far for me? Oh, well, maybe I didn't go down far enough. Yeah, it's weird. There was a question I wanted to answer, and I don't know where it went. Let's see here. Zach Fitz Live? Is that how you say that? Says, thanks everyone. Was wishful thinking. I would love to see a full-length professional fan film that isn't Star Trek Horizon. You mean like a feature-length film? Well, look, I mean, there are feature-length fan films out there. I think Friday the 13th Roseblood was feature-length. I think the Sawyer Massacre, the Texas Chainsaw one from Steve Merlo, I think is going to be feature-length, if I'm not mistaken. But, it depends, right? Like every movie is different and every budget is different. We took the approach to split this into two parts because it's Black Christmas. And like I said many times, we were right. If we wanted to shoot a feature-length Black Christmas fan film with nothing to show for it before, right, with the first part, we would have had to have asked for probably about $150,000 at minimum. But who was going to give us $150K for a Black Christmas fan film? We barely made 60. We actually made $64,000, $4,000 over our goal, and which is great. But that came in at like the last week. So we just made our goal. So we were correct. If we had actually set it at 160,000 or 150,000 or 130,000, we would have fell short. We would have fallen short. We would not have made our goal. So it was the right move to make. It was the right move to split it up. I think at the end of the day, though, when it comes to fan films, when you are, again, and I say real movies because there's a connotation around fan films, and I think that stipulation I guess connotation is the right word. I think will always be there because the vast majority of fan films will always be people in their backyards with their friends or amateur looking home movie kind of production value. Now some is better than others. Some you look at and you're like, oh, this is really good. Like they put a lot of effort into it. It's made by people who know what they're doing. But, generally speaking, if it's not where people want to live, right? So, I don't want to make fan films for the rest of my life. We're just making, but fan films are great because they get a lot of buzz. And that's what it is that they get a lot of buzz. They help pad a portfolio, especially if you're somebody like me who, like I've said, 20 years in the entertainment biz, man. No, 21 years now in the entertainment biz. But not as a filmmaker. Now I know a lot about film and I've worked on set. I've been on set. I went to film school. But certainly I haven't been making my own movies. Real movies, right? I don't mean the little Halloween fun shit that I do, but I mean actual indie shit, like It's Me, Billy. So I need to pad my portfolio. And fan films are a great way to do that because they have a built-in interest, and you can raise money for a fan film easier than you can raise money for an original piece, especially when you have nothing, which I had before Billy. I didn't have anything, and so it was important to step into the fan film genre and kind of, help gain some interest that way. And it worked. And I think that's why a lot of indie filmmakers will do that, because it's got a built-in interest already because of the IP, and so it's easier to raise money. And then when you can show what you can do, at least this is the idea. Of course, it's not set in stone. There's many variables. But when you can show what you can do as a filmmaker and deliver on a product, hopefully of quality and professionalism, then hopefully people are like, wow, okay, now you're doing something original. Okay, I'm totally in. I want to see that, right? Because you've proven yourself worthy enough, right? Again, it's not like we all think of this consciously all day, every day, but this is some of the stuff that there are fan films made by people that are just having fun. And then there are fan films that are really indie films, that are made by people that, are wanting to take things to the next level. And that's what it's all about, right? That's the dream, isn't it? Let me see. Let me see here. Trevor Bristow says, I saw the announcement and I'm hyped, and It's Me, Billy Chapter 2 will probably be my most anticipated fan film ever. And I guess I got to rewatch 1974 Black Christmas and It's Me, Billy. Thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, I actually had a few people say that about part one. There were people, it's so cool that when you make a fan film like It's Me, Billy, people will critique it, watch it, and put it in lists with mainstream films. It's like, that's kind of cool. You know what I mean? And I've had many people say, and I know I'm not alone, in terms of that was the point, right? I've had a lot of people say, like, I can't even call it a fan film. It's like there should be something else. There's fan film, and then there's, but we have to call it a fan film, obviously, for legal reasons. But yeah, I mean, what Vince has done and others are doing, it's because we take this seriously and we want to elevate ourselves and our careers to the next level and make movies. That's why we're doing it this way. If we didn't care about that, we would just, you'd have It's Me, Billy Chapter 2 next month. You know what I mean? But it's like now we've set the bar, you know what I mean? In terms of, at the very least for ourselves, and now it's like, okay, well, we got to deliver on that again, and it's really cool to hear people, put It's Me, Billy in the, on the shelf with likes like, Never Hike Alone and all that kind of shit. It's nice to, I've had people say that it's one of the, it's up there now in that sphere. And that's really cool. It's humbling, and it's just cool. And we want to continue to deliver that. And that's what we're going to do. But we need you guys. We need you. Harry Hagen, my man, Harry Hagen is in the chat. Love Harry. He's talking to Evil Alex, I mean. Mike Johnson's talking to Brooks Scarlett. I'd love to see you guys just having your own conversations. It's awesome. Evil Alex says, making you dream projects and stories as a film is what every filmmaker wants, but fan films help you to get there. They can. Yeah, it depends, right? It depends on the level. And I think that's why you'll often hear me talk about levels. I'm always worried I'm going to offend somebody, and I don't mean to. But there are fan films, and then there are certain fan films that are clearly made by people who know, are movies. They're made by filmmakers with the right gear and the right people and the crew and all that kind of stuff. And I don't say that to discourage or to say that, well, if it's not like that, then that movie sucks. No, not at all. I don't say that. There are different there's different levels and quality. And I think that should go without saying. And, you know, like I said, I mean, it's something that fan films for, yeah. Anyways, I just be repeating myself. But yes, you are correct. Yes, for sure. You can use, there's many different ways you can use fan films, I guess is what I'm trying to say, right? You can use it just having fun, or you can use it, take it to the next level and really like, wow, okay, this doesn't, like, clearly these people don't just want to sit in this sandbox their whole lives. They're doing this to get it going, right? To get the engine going. And you guys are that engine. I'm not fucking around here. I'm not making that up. I'm dead serious. You know, you guys brought it to life. You know, you guys are that engine. You guys should be really proud, you know, of the support you gave and the reality you helped to bring to life. I mean, yeah, we're boots on the ground, right? We're boots on the ground. We're there doing the logistics, doing the dirty work, doing the hard work, doing this, getting all that kind of stuff. But it's because you guys were back, you know, at headquarters, fucking making sure that it happened. I mean, do you know what I mean? It's you guys that made it a reality, and that's what's really cool. And like I said, we're calling on you again. I'm putting the Billy fucking signal in the sky, like, you know, the bat signal, putting the Billy signal in the sky. It's this big, you know, that very long, you know, Roman numeral 2. It's in the sky, and you guys are there, and you're like, babe, I gotta go. You're like, babe, no, I gotta go. What is it? Where are you going? I'm being summoned. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. That's what it's all about. Chester Franklin Jr. says, Dave, just want to say, love the red lighting. Yeah, well, I thought it was appropriate to the stream today. Love the red lighting. And also, cheers to you, buddy. It's me, Billy, Chapter 2. Congratulations, Dave. Will there be any red background lighting? You mean in Chapter 2? Will there be any? I don't know yet. Maybe. Like I said, we're still fleshing out the direction of the second part. Now, when we wrote part 1, we knew where we wanted to go, but we haven't written that yet. So now it's building that, and we need to build that. And obviously things change, right? As I've said many times, things can change. You know, there's a lot of things that we could have a first draft, a second draft, and then all of a sudden we're like, no, we should do this instead. And then, you know, we pop that in there. I'm getting all excited. We pop that in there. So maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Let's see here. Shorty Gee, is that how you say that? Shorty Gee or Shorty G? People spoiling Halloween Ends need the boot. Moderators doing a good job though. Well, you know what? I added 2 new mods, Cody Snyder and Andrew Stevens. I was about to say Alex for some reason. And I don't know if Andrew is still in here, but Cody is in here, which is great. And I did that because as the channel continues to grow, especially with Billy 2 on the horizon and Halloween Ends around the corner and all the other shit that's going to come up, I wanted to add to the arsenal, and Cody and Andrew came highly recommended from the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast peeps. And I thought, you know, it's time. It's time to do it. So, and Darren and Frank, of course, can't be on every show. Darren, of course, I don't imagine will be here today at all because obviously Queen Elizabeth passed away, and it's a big deal over in the UK. It's huge. So, shout out to Darren as well for that. So, not sure when he'll be back, but so I thought it was good to get some new mods in here. And also, too, if you are leaking Halloween stuff in the chat, please do not do that. Please be mindful of your fellow brethren. Of course, there's women in here too, but please be mindful of that. Cody, Andrew, you're not new to this. You know how this works. I see that you just put somebody into timeout, so that's good. Have respect. Be mindful of spoilers. Or plot details to Halloween Ends. Just be mindful of that. Don't have some objective awareness, okay? Do your best to have some objective awareness. If you sit there and you think to yourself, is this something I should say? Don't say it. Even if you're questioning whether you should, there's a good chance you probably shouldn't. So it should be very obvious on things we can talk about and share and discuss. So please make sure that you're being very mindful of that, because there's no, like, it just pops up and there's no way of, people just read it. If you want to go post it on your own social media, you want to go talk about it do that. But in live chat forums, have some objective awareness and be very mindful of that. Thank you, Cody. Appreciate that. Matthew Farisi sends in $9.99, says, love the red light. I know. Well, I mean, come on, we're talking Billy chapter 2. I had to have it, right? Excited for the glorious return of Billy. I don't know how much will filmed outdoors, but I hope it snows for you again. Yeah, Matthew, we were just talking about that. Don't know yet either. We will see. Again, the first draft is being fleshed out as we speak, so we will see. But even if we didn't need snow, which we probably will, but even if we didn't need it, I kind of hope it does anyway. It gets you in the mood. It really helped everybody's mood that first time. Now, obviously, we had shots where we needed snow, or would have liked to have had snow. So it really helped out in that regard. But that first morning, getting up, we were all up at like 5 a.m. I remember walking down the hall because myself, Bruce, our 3 lovely ladies, and Greg, our DP, we all stayed at the house that first night, and then the crew was at a motel. And I remember waking up at 5 a.m. and the girls were all excited. They were up and they were excited, and craft services had just arrived, and we're like, it's snowing. It felt like Christmas morning. It was actually a really good first morning. It was a lot of fun. They were ready. We were ready. This is it, right? We were ready to begin, and it was really cool. And then we opened the door and it's cold out, and you're like, this is great. We're shooting a Black Christmas movie. This is awesome. You know what I mean? I'll never forget that feeling either, because of how serious we took it. And again, it was a small crew. It's not like we had this massive crew, but everybody that worked on it was professional, and using the gear that we were able to use, thanks to you guys, using the equipment that we were able to rent, thanks to you guys, and hire the crew, thanks to you guys. It was so cool. There were many moments, as I've said, where even though we weren't shooting the official Black Christmas sequel, there were many moments that it did feel like that, because there has never been there's never been a sequel. We're the only ones to have done it. Literally, we're the only ones to have done it. That's actually kind of cool when you think about it. There's no other sequel. There's no other fan. Well, I think there might be a fan sequel, but it's home movie kind of stuff, right? There's no other, so there were many moments where it kind of felt like that. It was a really cool experience. And I'm hoping we can have that experience again. Harry Hagen sends in $2 and says, received the It's Me Billy Blu-ray. Just wanted to say thanks. Oh, hey, no problem, man. We sent that out to you. That was like, wait, did you just receive it? Because we sent that to you like months ago. Or are you just saying thanks? You just want to say thanks. Maybe that's what you're doing. No problem, Harry. I'm glad you got it. I think you were one of the ones that won. You were, I think I had posted something and then I said retweet this or something, and I'll pick a couple people, and your name came up. I did a random wheel thing on online. You can put names into a wheel. Frank and Darren have done this before for their Patreon, and that's what I did for to pick the winner, and your name popped up. I'm pretty sure that was you, right? Andrew Stevens sends in $5. Thanks, Andrew. Says, for the sexy $100,000 we shall try to raise for It's Me B2. It's Me. It's a cross between IMB and It's Me Billy. It's Me Billy 2 fans, dude. Again, I don't know how much we're going to need yet, because that comes after the script is written. It comes after we do the budget breakdown. We factor in the perks. We factor in everything, because remember, that's $64,000. And to be fair, total transparency, Bruce and I still had to put in a little bit of our own money. So, you know, it's because the $64,000 is not just making the movie, it's also, you know, the perks and the shipping and all that kind of stuff, right? So, we did have to put in a little bit of our own cash, but we were able to do it. So, although I don't know how much we're going to need yet, it's still far too early to know. $100,000 might be right. It might be, when I think sort of surface level ballpark, kind of where we're at in the development process. It wouldn't surprise me if once the Indiegogo campaign launches, we're asking for $100,000. Wouldn't surprise me. Will we get it? I don't know. Because keep in mind too, that if a project does reach its goal, then the project can go into demand. Now, we didn't do that for It's Me, Billy Chapter 1. We didn't do that. Maybe we should have, but we didn't. For Chapter 2, we would love to get our project into demand. So what does that mean? Well, if the project reaches its goal, then that means that it can continue to raise money. So even though, what the hell is wrong with me? I can't even speak today. Even though it's raised its money and it's raised what you've asked, it's now gone into demand. So that means people can still donate and pick up perks. We would love to get It's Me, Billy Chapter 2 to that status. Now, obviously, the more you ask for, the harder it is to get into demand. Some people will ask for less to give the probability of success of achieving the goal. Let me try that again. Some people will ask for less, so the probability of getting to demand is higher. It's all, there's a lot of things we have to work out and structure as we're moving into that. But yes, if we can reach our goal, we will put Chapter 2 into demand, and then it can continue to raise money after the campaign is over, which can only help for those who missed out on it. It will help with the perks. It will help with a lot of stuff. So, yeah. I'm counting on Andrew Stevens and Cody Snyder going to be the cheerleaders in the chat room when that happens. Fauci Cinema says, Dave, is there an opening for a low 30s male with a dad bod hot tub scene asking for a friend? Not yet. No hot tub scene in It's Me, Billy Chapter 2. Maybe Agnes and Billy are in a hot tub together. You know what? Maybe we'll just write that in there. There's a scene where Billy and Agnes are in a hot tub together. And that'd be a weird scene. This all of a sudden becomes some weird, uncomfortable movie. You never know, man. You never know. Harry follows up and says, Dave, yes, I won the giveaway. Okay, cool. The Blu-ray was almost stolen. I had 2 packages delivered that day. It's Me, Billy was put in the mailbox. Other package left at the door and the package was stolen. That's New York for you. Crazy. For a minute, I thought you were going to say that it's because it was It's Me, Billy on Blu-ray. Somebody almost stole that. Can you imagine? Like, fuck, I didn't know that people in New York were crazy for Billy. Can you imagine? If that's what it was? That'd be so lame. That'd be so funny. Well, thank goodness it was put in the mail, which doesn't surprise me because it was small, so it can kind of go through any slots or whatever. So that doesn't surprise me. Well, thank goodness it wasn't stolen. But even if it was, I mean, you know, you could have stolen it. You know what I mean? I would have sent another one. Let me see. Oh, what's going on here? Chester. Oh, you guys just talk. Yeah, the Halloween leaks. And by the way, folks, again, if you want to know my thoughts on the most recent Halloween Ends TV spot, there is a video on my channel where I talk about it. So it's only like 4.5 minutes long. It's very quick. At least for me, that's very quick. Although, in case you guys didn't notice, I was doing pretty good during the Halloween teaser week, that I was uploading like vids that were like 10 minutes and under. That's pretty good for me. I'm telling you. Although some people do like my 30-minute vids. For the algorithms, it's always better if I can keep it to like 10 minutes and less. People's attention spans are ridiculously short. Let me see here. Did I get all the super chats so far? I think I've got all the super chats. Let me see. Did I? I think I have. I don't see any others. Juan Rivera says, Dave, stamp your mark on this industry, my brother. You have it, and you have us and your community behind you. Juan, that's incredible of you to say. That's very nice. Obviously, when you put yourself out there online and you do this kind of thing and put your face out there and you gain a bit of a social media following, obviously not everybody's going to like you. That's just par for the course. I've talked about this many times on the channel, but I talk about it on or I will bring it up if somebody says something like you just did there that kind of reminds me of it. Because I know there are channels out there that, not that I'm a huge channel, not by any stretch of the imagination, but I do know there are channels out there that are a lot smaller than mine that face a lot more backlash than I do, either because of the way they look or the way they sound, or maybe they lack a certain level of confidence. And I just want you to know, if you are somebody out there that is dealing with that, fuck them. Fuck these people that they don't have a fucking testicle if their life depended on it. It takes far more guts to put yourself out there online and do this kind of thing and chat and make mistakes and whatever the case is and speak, than it will chatting in the comment section and making, all this. That's largely why, I have thick skin anyway, I always have, but it's largely why, trolls or people that, make fun of me or, whatever the case is, it doesn't bother me, I'm just like, yeah, whatever, it doesn't bother me. And what have you done today? You know what I mean? There are just people that are just professionally outraged, that are outraged for a living. So not everybody's going to like what you do. Not everybody's going to like who you are. I was sent, I'm not on Reddit, but somebody a few months ago sent me a link to a Reddit forum that was all about me. And I'm like, why am I on Reddit? Why are people talking about me on Reddit? Somebody had said something like, what are your thoughts on Dave McRae? And it had like 70 or 80 comments. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then there were some people that were like, oh, I think he's cool. And then others were like, oh, he's a fucking dick. And I'm just laughing. I'm reading this just laughing. I'm like, this is amazing. This is like even the most like vile hatred for me. I'm like, this is amazing. Like people are talking. Why? Because I chat Halloween on you. Tell you, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. So I bring it up because I hope that just me talking about it and me mentioning it will help somebody who's, doesn't have the following I do, but has 10 times the trolls I do. Do you know what I mean? That can be really hard. But just know that you're doing something that they don't have the fucking guts to do. They don't have the guts to put their face out there. They don't have the guts to do a show or a channel. They don't have the guts to get online and put their face out there and say it to your face. Of course they don't. This is, listen, I'm 43 years old. This is shit that we used to deal with, although it was in person, back in the 80s, back in the 90s. They think they're all hot shit. They're not hot shit. This is weak shit. Trolling online, fighting comment, it's weak shit. It's all online. It's behind closed doors. It's weak stuff. So if you're somebody out there that is disgruntled by that, upset about that, I'm here to tell you, try not to let it bother you. You're better than that. You're better than them. And they know that. So again, I will bring this up and I will say it because I'm always thinking that there could be somebody out there that is, because I've received it. If you follow me on Facebook, you'll know that I have made a couple of posts in the past. Funny enough, I should check in with this guy. I haven't checked in with him in a while. There was a guy named Mike, and he gave me permission to. I don't think that was his screen name. No, his screen name though. Jesus, I can't fucking talk today. Speaking of talking, he had reached out to me. I don't know if you guys remember this. If you follow me on my Many Things page, you'll know this. But there was. Yeah, like a year or so ago, maybe he reached out to me and he asked, how do you deal with trolls? Because he was getting bombarded with them. I'm telling you, and I know I'm not alone in this. I know Cody Leach could say this. I know the Wham guys could say this. I know Lee McCoy could say this. Jimmy Champagne. In our space, I know they can say this. every now and then you get people that reach out to you and say, I just want to say thanks. I get, a lot of flack. I get this or whatever, or, I'm having trouble with trolls or whatever. How do you do it? That kind of stuff. It's humbling. And it pisses me off that, these easy targets, which is what they are. It's easy, that they're getting that kind of shit. It just pisses me off. But just know, like I said, if you're if you are that person, you have way more guts than they will ever have. I mean, to create 500 different accounts and to troll from those accounts in absolute ambiguity is the absolute sheer definition of a coward. Remember that. Diddle-a-diddle-a-dee, diddle-a-diddle-a-da. All right. Super chat comes in from DM Owen, sends in $4.99, says, congratulations. Thank you, DM. I'm assuming you mean about Billy too. Appreciate that. Andrew Stevens follows up with another $5 super chat. Thank you, Andrew. Says, everyone keep a lookout for level 4 on Patreon. Dave on TSL presents hot tub session. Well, we have talked about it. We've discussed it. We've talked about it. We've thought about it. Maybe doing some sort of, hot tub presentation exclusively to level 4 patrons. Dave in a G-string. You don't want to see that. No one wants to see me in a G-string. Come on. All right. We've been going almost 2 hours now. Holy snap and crap. We've been going for almost 2 hours. I definitely have to go here in a minute. That's crazy. Holy cow. I didn't realize we'd gone for that long. It's funny. I find when I'm talking passionately, let me try that again. I can't fucking talk today. When I talk passionately about things I'm passionate about, I find that the time will just go by. Like it will just go by, And it's not like I have a co-host on these streams to sort of take the pressure off or to bounce things off of. I'm firing on all cylinders for 2.5 hours straight. There's many times, as I've said many times before, there's many times where I will stop a show and be like, I need a nap, because I'm exerting so much energy. You know what I mean? I love it though, especially when I'm really into something. Evil Alex says, in the real world, people wouldn't even try trolling because they'd get their face, of course, their face punched. Absolutely, 100%. 100%. That's why I just think it's funny, when I see trolls or, when I see people online. I mean, it makes them feel better because it makes them feel like they've gotten it out there. But yeah, when I read all those comments, and I've thought about doing a video where I actually read the Reddit forum comments about me. I think that'd be really fun. But at the same time, I'm like, but from a certain perspective, it gives more light to them and validates them more. And it's like, I don't really want to do that either. But anybody that trolls or spews venom on a Reddit forum, it's the absolute purest definition of coward. What the hell is that? It's so easy to do. The internet has made it so easy for people to be cowards. I mean, fucking come back to high school in my day, man, when you heard something said behind your back, you knew who it was, and you got your fucking face punched in because it was easy to walk down the hall and do it. You know what I mean? Now it's like, the hell is this? It's a nonsense stuff. That's why that shit doesn't bother me. Again, I also have thick skin. So there's two things happening there. Not having thick skin can also be a problem as well. But I learned it from my father. I learned it from my dad. I learned to have thick skin from my father, or how to have thick skin from him. So troll away. It doesn't bother me. Dennis Williams says, hey Dave, have you seen Orphan First Kill yet? Pretty good prequel with another good twist. I have not seen that yet. I want to see it. Ryan Andrew Allen says, this is Dave's last stop before making an original film. Yes. I would say so. Yeah. It's me, Billy, too. Because like I said, and I think this is probably a good spot to kind of end the stream here on too. We decided to do Billy 2 because it allows us the opportunity to deliver on ending the story with a conclusion, because obviously It's Me, Billy Chapter 1 ends on an epic cliffhanger. So it was always designed to be a cliffhanger, to have it continue. That was always the design. But we didn't tell you that initially because, like I said, we didn't want to kind of spoil that moment. Doing chapter 2, it allows us to finish what we started out to do, which was complete the story. It allows us to complete not just our Black Christmas sequel story, but from a certain point of view, a Black Christmas trilogy. Black Christmas 74 and then our 2 films. And because we are the only ones doing it, and because we are doing it at a pro level, there's a level of authenticity and credibility to our films because of that. And of course, if we can get Olivia Hussey, that's only gonna, that's the cherry on top, right? And because we're doing it in the ways that we're doing it, it also helps us as filmmakers to pad our portfolio, to continue to show what we can do. Because again, all I have right now at this level is Billy. And all Bruce has, funny enough, he actually has worked 20 years in the film industry. But of course, on the corporate, on the corporate side in terms of training and education. So for us, it's both of our sort of first time working with this gear at this level, making movies, all that kind of stuff. So we want to continue to pad our portfolios, and we want to continue to show what we can do as filmmakers. And we feel that Billy is a great bookend to what we can show. It's a complete story, 2 short films, as professional as we can possibly make it. And then we want to step away from the fan film subgenre and move into original films. And hopefully, with your guys' help, we can do that. You know what I mean? So it's exciting, man. It's exciting times for sure. I can't wait to finish this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And like I said, Victoria is back as Sam. Caro is back as Agnes. Brian Charles Peter is back as Billy. And Gregory Bennett is back as our DP. And my fingers are crossed that hopefully as the time moves on, we can get a lot of the same crew back as well, because that would be a lot of fun too. That'd be a lot of fun. All right, folks, listen, that's going to do it for me here on this sort of official announcement of It's Me, Billy, Chapter 2. The teaser dropped yesterday. It's on my channel if you haven't seen it. I think it has nearly 2,000 views, which is great. Thank you. Share it. Continue to share it around with people and friends and family who might be interested, who you may think might be interested. There's also this promotional image right there, of course, that dropped yesterday. Chapter 2 is happening. I love this image. I love it. It's awesome. Look at that Roman numeral 2. It's so eerie. I just think it's so eerie looking. I love it. It's great stuff. There will be more promotional images and stuff, of course, coming as the days and weeks and months roll on. So look out for that. If you follow me on my social media, you'll be able to see that, of course. And my social media is right there. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. All my links are in the description. Check them out. And when your heart's content, check them out again. What the hell do I say? All my links are in the description. Check them out. And when you're, what the hell? God, I can't even remember what I say. What the hell do I say? All my links are in the description. Check them out. When your heart's content, check them out again. I can't even remember what I normally say. That's so funny. Brain fog. I've been doing this for 2 hours. I made the video on the Halloween Ends TV spot today. I'm just totally fried. I think my brain is fried. But yeah, there will be more news, of course, as the months roll on. This is very exciting. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited and ready to come back on board and deliver the Black Christmas conclusion, the Black Christmas finale that Black Christmas deserves. To deliver the conclusion and the finale that Black Christmas fans, that horror fans, and that Black Christmas, the 1974 classic, deserves. All right, folks. Thank you to my great mods, Cody Snyder, Andrew Stevens, Darren Sands, Frank Riker, I almost said Toby Hooper. I'm lost today. I am totally fried today. To Toby Hooper, Tabitha Short, and Chris Baber. You guys are amazing. You know you are. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great rest of your Thursday. It is Thursday today, right? Have a great rest of your Thursday, and I will talk to you soon. Alrighty. Cheers.